In this video, I ride the Ryanair of Mexico, VivaAerobus, an ultra-low-cost carrier connecting Mexicans with each other for what look like the lowest prices in the country. I'll be checking out the legroom, where you should sit, and the onboard service as I take this cheap-as-chips flight down to the stunning resort area of Los Cabos. Despite the low prices, is the airline actually any good? Come with me and enjoy the ride. It's VivaAerobus. Welcome to Tijuana Airport, where I've arrived especially early for my flight. In fact, just before check-in opens. Tijuana Airport is a surprisingly busy place. Volaris is the biggest domestic airline in Mexico and has a significant hub here. And this big blue bridge has an awful lot to do with that. It was built in 2015 and makes Tijuana the only genuinely binational airport in the world, with the terminal facilities straddling two countries. You see, Tijuana Airport is right on the border with the USA, and this bridge is CBX, the Cross-Border Express, which means Americans can park on the US side of the border, use this border processing facility, which basically acts as an extension of the terminal, and cross the border on foot, ending up in the main terminal building. It's really handy and puts really cheap Mexican flights within easy reach of millions of people in Southern California. Unsurprisingly, the airport has several American-branded restaurants, and I just could not pass up the opportunity to get some junk food from Panda Express.
So they bagged this up as if I was going to take it on a plane, all this smelly Chinese food. Now, I love Panda Express, but I don't think I want to sit next to someone eating this on a budget flight down to Los Cabos. Oh yes! One of the things I wasn't expecting Tijuana Airport to have is a priority pass lounge. It's not something you would necessarily expect in an airport which is almost exclusively served by budget carriers, but here it is.
Yes, there really is a priority pass lounge here, although it's not included on my ticket and I haven't the time to pop in using my card, especially as I've noticed my aircraft has just arrived from Culiacan. If you find yourself in Tijuana Airport, by the way, you should go to the end of the terminal and check out this rare Boeing 747 SP aircraft rotting on the tarmac, which has a fascinating history. Our aircraft today is rather less exotic. It's a 6-year-old Airbus A320 which has flown with VivaAerobus for its whole service life. There are 186 seats on board, all economy class.
Hello. Thank you. Gracias.
The smart fare that I purchased gets me priority boarding, so I'm one of the first on board, but not before a mystery employee makes us all sanitize our hands. The best seats on the aircraft are probably these front ones, although I never pick these front row seats as I tend to need underfloor storage with all of my stuff. The legroom looks pretty good here, and unsurprisingly these were all occupied despite the aircraft being half empty. It's even better on this side in these unlimited legroom seats, but you do have to face the crew awkwardly upon takeoff because there is no bulkhead here. The front 6 rows of the aircraft are VIP priority, which have 30 inches of pitch, one more than the regular seats, which have just 29 inches. These seats definitely feel a bit roomier than 30 inches though, thanks to their space-saving design, which cuts out a bit of space by the knees. Also, VIP priority seats have a couple of inches of recline function, but unfortunately there is no power and no Wi-Fi on board. storage, however, is pretty good for a basic economy seat. We turn left immediately after takeoff. This is to avoid overflying US airspace. And it's quite surreal to see the border from the air. Most borders are kind of arbitrary and impossible to see from aircraft, but this one here is a lot different. VivaAerobus is a low-cost airline, and it's not surprising to see they've sold advertising space on their aircraft. That's very much like Ryanair in Europe. Each seat comes with a fold-down table, which is quite small, but to be fair, you're unlikely to be working on a laptop or eating a full meal, so this is okay really. And yes, like I mentioned, VIP priority does come with a couple of inches of recline, unlike the rest of the seats in the aircraft, which are tactfully called pre-recline. That means they don't recline at all. So why did I choose to sit up front? Okay, let's look at VivaAerobus's ticketing. There are 4 bands of fares. 0, which is literally you and a personal item. Light, which comes with a carry-on bag. Extra, which comes with a carry-on bag. And wait, another carry-on? Surely not. Actually, it turns out this is a big mistake on the English language version of the site. Elsewhere, they clarify this second bag is a checked hold bag. That's an important difference. Lazy translation errors on the website aren't limited to this either. I mean, here's the list of nationalities which they ran through a Spanish-English Google translator. Old and bearded is a literal translation of Antigua and Barbuda. Now you know. These seem like pretty basic errors for a large company, so just beware of that. Anyway, I had the Smart fare, which is the most expensive because of the £55 bag allowance, and if you go to select seats, weirdly it wanted to charge me just a single dollar to select. I think these are probably supposed to be free, but this may have been an error which possibly has its roots in currency fluctuations between the peso and the dollar, but whatever. Onto the onboard service, and there's a fairly comprehensive menu. I'd say the prices are about okay for onboard purchases, although you'll definitely get more bang for your buck, or more punch for your peso, on the ground. When it comes to food, by the way, nothing is included for Smart fares or for VIP priority customers, and you have to pay on board. Cash was not accepted, and weirdly, the card machine makes you add a gratuity of some sort when you pay. There's no option not to tip, which seems a bit kind of off. Another local beer down the hatch, and to be honest, I've had better. Still, there aren't many places in the world you can grab a beer that have this view from the window. Our route today was really direct, down the Baja California Peninsula, and took just 1 hour and 45 minutes to fly the 785 miles down to Los Cabos. After what seemed like no time at all, we descended, got a glimpse of Los Cabos' least appealing place to stay, and touched down bang on time. This flight cost me $93 one way, including a hefty hold bag and that $1 extra for the seat. Overall, not bad, and another airline which rather does better with its actual delivery of the service than it does with making sure they have the right information on the website. I think the whole "you have to had a tip" thing is pretty sharp practice too, but really, the seat was fine, legroom better than I expected, the crew were pleasant, and I ended up in Los Cabos. And what else do you want for $93? Next up on the channel, their main competition, Volaris, back to Mexico City, and you can have a guess in the comments as to whether I found it better or worse than VivaAerobus. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.